Hi, Chuck Allred here, and welcome to the step-by-step tutorial on how to play the Metallica medley that I've made that's loosely called 8 Metallica Ballads on Classical Guitar. I'd like to get right to the tutorial, but first I want to say just a couple of things. The first thing is that I made this medley because I'm a huge fan of Metallica, as you probably are as well if you're watching this. And I wanted to reproduce the songs just the way that they sound on the records, adding some things that they do live nowadays or after they made the recordings that are a little bit different, but still the way that they play their own songs. That's the way I wanted it to sound. I didn't want to change the sound or to do anything different. It's just kind of my way of saying I love this group and I love their music. I have a ton of respect for them as musicians and professionals, and I love playing their stuff, even though I don't play electric guitar in a heavy metal band. I'm a classical guitarist these days. I still love to play their music, and I think a lot of other people would as well. The second thing is all the parts in this medley the intention was for them to be just the way that they sound on the records without any additional arrangement. I did, in the video, I say that there's additional arrangement on a few songs. What I mean by that is just because I'm playing this fingerstyle, sometimes you can add another part. So it's not really like arranged, it's not really messed with. It's just maybe I'll play a bass line and then add a part on top, that they would play between a couple of instruments or on two different guitars, just because that's something that you can do when you play fingerstyle. And I'll point out those parts that I've kind of combined. There's just a few, and I want to go ahead and show you what they are, because if you already know how to play a lot of these songs, then you don't need me to show you how to play them. I'm going to go through and say, okay, this is how you play every note of all of these songs in this medley. But it won't be any different than, if you've already learned them yourself well, or you've consulted a good source to teach these songs to you. They'll play the same way. The only difference would be, you play them fingerstyle on a nylon string guitar, or maybe a steel string guitar. But just in case you're looking for the sections to go to in this medley that are not what you would typically hear on one guitar, I'll go ahead and tell you what they are. Where I've done just a little bit of combining, right? Not really arranging, just kind of a slight combination. The first one is in Master of Puppets. Where you just have the bass line, and I've put in one of the melodies on top, so you can jump to that section. The next one is I think 1, where they've got all this stuff going on in this section, and I tried to just reduce it as much as I could without losing too much. So you might want to jump to that section, and then on My Friend in Misery, it's not changed or arranged, it's just up an octave. So if you look at the way that Jason plays it on the bass, I try to play it the same. It just sounds an octave higher. I don't know what he does with his plucking hand, but he uses a pick, right? So that's not really any different, it'll just be up an octave. And then the last one is in the chorus of Nothing Else Matters. There's just a little bit of combining the chorus that they're playing with the vocal melody that you gotta have there, right? jump to that section if you just want to look at the stuff that's different. Everything else is, as far as I know, it doesn't mean it's all 100% accurate. Hopefully it's close. But everything else is meant to sound the way that the songs sound on the records. Or, you know, the ways that they play them live too. If you know the differences, then you'll hear some of those things. Because that seems to be the way that they want the songs to go now. Besides that, I'll walk you through each part, show you where all the notes are, give you some options on how to pluck them. I made this medley about 6 months ago from the recording of this instructional video, so I can't really remember everything that I did. That's great though, because I had to sit down and come up with 2 or 3 possibilities. Maybe one that I liked back then, maybe one that I like now, maybe a few that I think might work for some people. So I'll give you those options and you can practice them and mull it over and come up with your own conclusions. So I think I've talked enough, don't you think? Let me just tell you the terminology we're going to use and then we'll start the tutorial. So I use classical guitar terminology for the fingers and strings. Plucking hand, we have P for thumb, I, M, and A. Ring fingers A. And for pinky, I just say pinky. I'm going to cheat and say pinky. And I do use pinky just a tad in this piece. So fretboard hand, we have fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, I'll be saying that a lot. And then don't confuse your string numbers. I always say this. The first string is the smallest string, is the high E. Second string is B. Third string is G. Fourth string is D. Fifth string is A. Sixth string is E. So I might say G string, or I might say third string. And that's what I mean. And then of course fret numbers, right? Those are self-explanatory. Okay, hope this video helps you out, and let's get right to it. So we start off the medley with Fade to Black. It's the introduction of the piece. So for the fretboard hand, put your first finger on 5th string, 2nd fret. That's a B. Put your third finger on 4th string, 4th fret. It's an F sharp. You're going to ring the open 3rd string quite a lot, so don't collapse your 3rd finger too far. Make sure there's a tunnel behind it, so you don't get this. You get a nice ringing sound. We're going to be using our 4th finger on the 5th string, 5th fret. That's a D. Okay, and then an open 5th string for this first part. For right hand, plucking hand, I'm going to put my thumb on the 5th string, index on string 4, and middle on string 3. And each of those fingers just kind of polices each string. And then here's the sequence. Now we go to open 5th string, 3rd finger stays down still. 4th finger. Okay, and each time you need a particular string, just set P, I, and M up and play that finger, okay? P, I, M, I, P, I, P, I, and etc., okay? After a few measures of that, we go to this shape. So here I'm going to move 3rd finger to 5th string, 4th fret. That's an F sharp. And I'm going to fret 2 strings with my 1st finger on the 2nd fret on strings 4 and 3. It's an E and an A. start with this figure, P, I, M, I, P, I, and then open 5th string A, P, I. Okay, so the whole thing so far. And that repeats. And then we're going to go somewhere else. And I will go ahead and say, musically speaking, on the recording, this is a big deal, the open string. So you definitely want to think about how you want that open string to sound. If you want to hammer it. It's kind of what they do on the recording a little bit more. I think of it more as more like this. Like moving in and out of that F sharp. So I don't play it quite so loud. I play it a little bit louder than the F sharp. But it's up to you. And then also I'd be aware of this. That's the thing that moves the most in this section. So that's kind of what I'm singing. When you play that part on guitar on its own, that actually kind of drives the train, I think. This is a neat effect, whatever you choose to do. But this melodically drives the train. So just be aware of that and make a decision about how you want that to go. So after we play that twice, well, let's see. In the medley, at the end of the second time, you just hold this chord, and this is a live thing that they do that's different than the recording. So second time through, you just hold that chord for the rest of the measure, and then do it again 2 more times. So now we get to this transition part that leads into the verse section of the piece, and it goes like this. We have an F on the 6th string, 1st fret with 1st finger. We have a C, 5th string, 3rd fret with 3rd finger. And we have an open D, open 4th string. And move your setup for your plucking hand to the 6th string, P on 6, I on 5, and M on 4. And you go P, I, M, P. Okay. After that, we're going to fret a G sharp on the 6th string, 4th fret with 4th finger. Then a B, 5th string, 2nd fret with 2nd finger. Then an E on the 4th string, 2nd fret with 1st finger. So after this figure, do the same finger, almost the same finger combination. This time we're going to go P, I, M, I. Okay, now we're going to move to this next chord shape. What's going to get us there is the security of your 2nd finger here. 2nd finger stays on the 5th string, 2nd fret, B. If you've got it secure here, just leave it there, relax everything else. We're going to fret an E major and then an E7 chord shape. So from here, first we're going to play that B, 5th string, 2nd fret with 2 that's already anchored. Then we're going to play the 4th string, 2nd fret E, but this time with 3rd finger. 1st finger is going to tuck back here, 3rd string, 1st fret, G sharp. Now we've got our plucking hand set up, moved up a string, so thumb is 5th string, I is 4th string, M is 3rd string. We have this figure. So you've got this shape here, and we're going to do P, I, M, P, I, M, A, open 2nd string, plays a B on A, and then a D, D is in dinosaur, 2nd string, 3rd fret with 4th finger. And you can play that with probably M, with the plucking hand is probably what I'd do. Before we go into that chord. Okay, and this is several shapes, but this section needs to all flow as one thing. You've come from this. Now this just shows us we're going somewhere else. So try not to play it like shape, 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 just one thing. Before we arrive to the main part that we all know and love. Okay, so let's get to that. This is an A minor chord, so open 5th string, A, 4th string, 2nd fret, E with 2nd finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret, A with 3rd finger, and then we're going to play the 2nd string open, that's a B, and very quickly do what is commonly called a hammer-on with 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. So this is really your chord. You just get that last note a little bit late. And for my plucking hand setup, I've now got thumb on the 5th string, so P, I, M, and A is on the 2nd string, and I roll that chord. I arpeggiate it. Oops. Okay. After we roll that chord and do this so-called hammer-on, we do one more M and I. A, M, I. Oops. M, I. Now A is going to jump to the 1st string and play an open E. When A jumps, well, A doesn't really jump. I just move my plucking hand up, and now thumb ends up on the 4th string. And thumb plays that E on the 4th string. Okay. After that, we have this figure. It's open G, open 3rd string. Do a hammer on up to the 2nd fret, A with 2nd finger. And then play that C again on the 2nd string, 1st fret with 1st finger. Okay, after this, we change chords. Now we're in a C major chord. So I've got 3rd finger, 5th string, 3rd fret on a C, 2nd finger, 4th string, 2nd fret on an E, and an open third string is a G. So right after I do this little thing up here, immediately move my arm back, so fifth string is where my thumb goes, and I and M are plucking that chord. And I think I said a note wrong. I've got C, E. No, I didn't. Never mind. Yeah, C, E, and G. After we pluck this chord, I've still got first finger here on this C because I'm still going to need it. Now I move my plucking hand set up to the fourth string. So thumb is on the fourth string and the other fingers follow suit, right? Each on the following string, I on 3, M on 2, A on 1. And then I'm going to do M on the second string, P on the fourth string, A on the first string, P on the fourth string, C, E, E, E. Then we have a similar figure, but instead of going to the C, we go to the B. So we have third string, open, hammer on to second fret here with second finger, and then play the open second string. This chord. This is a G major chord now. So I've got second finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret, first finger, 5th string, 2nd fret, and I've got to open 4th string, G, B, D. And I'm going to move my plucking hand, 5th string on 6. Thumb on 6 is what I meant to say. So P, I, and M on 6, 5, and 4. Okay. After we get these guys set down here, we're going to set these up here to complete the chord. So put your third finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, D, 4th finger on the 1st string, 3rd fret, G. And don't forget to leave plenty of room for this open 3rd string G to ring out. So we're going to need it. Okay. After I pluck this low part of this G chord here, I'm going to move my plucking hand up to the highest position. So A is going to go on string 1, M on string 2, I on string 3. And I'm going to say M, I, A, I. String numbers are 2, 3, 1, 3. That's D, G, G, G. Then we have A to G, 3rd string, 2nd fret, to 3rd string open. Together with the low E. Sorry, I keep screwing it up. And these, you could pluck it M-I or A-I, just kind of whatever feels natural. It's all one string, so I might end on A finger, so I might do M-I-A, M-I-A, or I-M-A, or A-I-A, sorry, A-I-A. Because after that we have to do this. We have to play 4th string, 2nd fret E with 3rd finger. 5th string, 2nd fret B with 2nd finger. And for the plucking hand, I'm going to say I, P. Now we have this figure. Very, very recognizable. So I have open, second, and third strings. And I think I'm going to pluck those with M and A together. You could do I and M too, but since I have I, P, M and A are just closer. So open, second, and third strings, and then fret this part of this A minor chord. Third string, second fret with 2, and second string, first fret with 1. Very briefly before you slide this figure up 2 frets. So really the figure is kind of like this, but there's just an ornament in there. And I think on the recording, I mean, they do it really quickly. It's not really like, it's not like a drawn out thing. It's pretty quick. Start the whole thing over. And then you have some different, a little bit of discrepancy here when you end this part each time you come back to it. When you come back to the G chord, right here, all of that is the same. Except they do some different things. The second time they play that, I think they go. I think I might be wrong, but as far as I can remember, that's what's on the recording. So instead of going, they go. So they do open third string, hammer onto the A, second fret, and then pull off from the A to the open third string, and then pluck the third string again. Is it 2 more times? Yeah. I think that's what they do the second time. The third time, I think they do. Back to this, and the which is the same way as the first time, and then the third time I think they do something like that. So this is the same, and then we do this, second string, third fret, D with third finger, it's already there. And then we play A, third string, second fret with first finger, and then we play the G on the open third string together with the open sixth string. So those are 3 different ways they play that little part. I forget how the first one goes now. It wouldn't be a huge deal if you played it the same way every time, I don't think, but use your ears and listen to Metallica's recording, and you can also listen to the medley and see how you want to put those in. So now we transition into To Live Is To Die, and this is the middle part of the piece where James plays this passage fingerstyle. So if you know your common chords, the chord shapes for this passage is just A minor, G major, E minor, and F major. And then A minor, G major, E minor, and then G major. That's the chord progression, that's the shapes we're going to use with a little bit of ornamenting that they do. So coming from fade to black, when you do this for the last time, I slowed down just a little bit. then I play a full A minor chord. I think on the recording on Justice, you'll just hear these outer notes. So if you want to just play these, that's fine. I go ahead and play the full chord just to kind of bring it in a little bit. Okay, so here's this chord. We're going to play open 5th string A, 4th string 2nd fret E with 2nd finger, 3rd string 2nd fret A with 3rd finger, and then we're going to eventually play 2nd string 1st fret C with 1st finger, okay? And for the plucking hand, it's just very straightforward, P-I-M-A. But we don't just play the chord just normally, because that would be not interesting enough. We do this. So what you're going to do is play the open 2nd string and then hammer on that 1st fret on the C with your 1st finger to give it that very mournful type of feel. Okay, so if you're playing it just like the recording on Justice, you'll only want to play strings 5 and 2 at the start of this. The way I play it on the medley is I play the full chord. It's not that much different. I just be sure that I emphasize that top note. You don't want to bury it. You want it to be the most important thing. Okay, so after we play that chord, and I like to arpeggiate it, as you'll notice, as you kind of roll up to it. We're going to play the chord, and then we're going to play strings 3 and 4. That's with fingers M and I. So roll, M, I. Then we do this. So this is a little, I think it's like an inverted mordant thing. It's a little ornament. Play the open 2nd string, hammer on the 1st fret, and then pull off back to the 2nd string. And do it probably as quickly as you can. And to finish that ornament, I guess it really kind of finishes on the next note, which is the 3rd string. It's this A that you're still holding from the chord. I'm going to play with my middle finger here, M. So practice this. Might sound best if you don't let this open B keep ringing. What I'm just now feeling is I actually lean this 3rd finger back and touch that string and keep it from ringing after I'm done with it. Because I think you want it to sound more like this. Like it's one thing. Okay, so moving on. We're going to play an open 2nd string, that's a B, with my A finger here, and a low G 6th string 3rd fret with 4th finger here. Okay, so then I'm going to do this, and there are a lot of different fingering options for your fingerboard hand here. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to recommend 2nd finger on the next note, which is this A, 3rd string 2nd fret with 2nd finger. So after we play these two notes together, then we play this A, this A, then this low G again, and then the open 3rd string. So I relax that 2nd finger, and that's the next chord shape. You could do this with 3rd finger if you want. It's a little stretchy to me, and I don't really have to do that. Or you could even do it with 1st finger. Just whatever you like. Okay, after this, we're going to go to our E minor chord shape. It starts with open 6th and 3rd strings. So thumb on the 6th string, and my A finger is playing the 3rd string here. After we play these two, I'm going to fret the 2nd fret on both the 5th and 4th strings. 2nd finger on the 5th, 3rd finger on the 4th. That's E and B. And I'm going to play first the 4th string and then the 5th string. So these two notes together, and these two, 4, 5. And with my plucking hand, I'm doing M, I, right? I just kind of keep everything lined up here and just follow the pattern, right? So A and P, M, I. Then we have open 3rd string with A, and then open 6th string with P. So that's the E minor shape. Now we have this. So for this, the 1st finger is going to play the F on the 6th string, 1st fret, with thumb over here. And we're going to play this open 3rd string with A finger. And then we're going to, in time with the music, we're going to hammer on to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, that's an A. And I'm going to recommend 3rd finger here. So this isn't a quick one like we have a lot in these lines. It's like melodic. Think of it as like instead of okay, after we do this, play strings 4 and 5, both open. It's a D and an A. And right hand, you could do M, I, or you could do M, P. I seem to be doing M, P right now. M, P. Okay. I do P here, I'm not sure why, but anyway, however it works for you. Okay, now we come back. It's like the first half of playing this, and then after this it's pretty much the same, okay? We're gonna come back and play the same A minor chord shape. This time we're gonna lay the same shape as the beginning. This time we don't have this, we just have this. So go ahead and put that 1st finger on the C, 2nd string, 1st fret, and lay down the rest of the A minor chord. Okay. And our figure is P on 5th string, A on 2nd string, and we're going to play those together. And then we're going to play 3rd string, A, and 4th string, E, with fingers M and I, like that. Da, da, da. Okay. And then add this extra note as we're about to change chords. Reach out with the 4th finger and fret this D, 2nd string, 3rd fret. Play that with A finger because A finger is already on the 2nd string. Okay, so here. Now, 4th finger stays on this D here, so it helps us get to the next chord shape. And I would go ahead and fret this low G on the 6th string, 3rd fret with your 2nd finger. So after we first play this D on the 2nd string right here, Now we play one more D on the second string with A, combined with this G on the sixth string with B. After that, we play one more low G, then we play open second string and open third string. It's a B and a G, and I'm going to use A finger and then M finger. And then to finish this measure, we've already kind of started to change chords. Play one last open E on the sixth string. Okay, now we're going fully into the E minor harmony. So you just played an open E on the sixth string, and you're going to play another one. At the same time, you're going to play the open third string G with my middle finger. My M finger is what I'm using here. Okay. After this, I'm going to fret my E minor chord shape here from before. Maybe I would use you could either use I'm going to use second and third finger here. You could use one or two as well. You can decide. I won't talk about that because then I'll never stop. So you can use 2 and 3 here, or you can use 1 and 2. Okay. Decide. I'm going to use 2 and 3. So I've got 3 on 4th string, 2nd fret, E, 2 on 5th string, 2nd fret, B. And I play the 4th string and then the 5th string, okay? And right here I do I and P, and it helps line up my plucking hand for what comes next, okay? 4, 5. Then I play open 3rd string with M, and open 2nd string with A. M, A. Okay. And then how you fret this final G chord kind of depends on what you do here. If you use 2 and 3 like I did, then just keep 2 where it is on the 5th string, and reach out with 3rd finger and fret this low G on the 6th string, 3rd fret. After these open strings, you're going to play this low G on the 6th string together with this open 3rd string G. Okay. Then you're going to play open 4th string and open 5th string, and then you're going to fret this D, 2nd string, 3rd fret with 4th finger. Okay, if you did the E minor chord like this with 1 and 2, leave 1 where it is, fret this low G with 2, and you can either use 3 or 4 up here. Okay, but with that, whatever finger you have on this B on the E minor chord previously on the 5th string, 2nd fret, leave that finger there because you need that same note, and that'll make it easier to play. Oops. And then you just start the whole thing over. Okay, that is how you play that passage. I think in the medley I play it twice, and then I play it 2 more times. On the recording, you kind of hear it kind of in an introduction type form, and then you hear the drums and bass, what bass is there anyway, kick in together with, you know, multi-tracks of this part. And when they do the introduction, James does this every time with this note. Once everything kicks in, he only does this. Sorry. Like that. In other words, he doesn't start with this. He just does. And that's just the way it sounds on the recording. Just like the second time when you play it at the beginning, if that makes sense. At first he does this, and then he just says this. It's not a huge deal. You can still do this. I'm just kind of pointing it out. If you're playing this on solo guitar, okay, I would emphasize the top voice the most and try and sing it. Okay. That's going to make it really sing. And of course you're playing all the notes with good control and volume, but don't let them overpower the melody, okay? And then I would use 2 different sounds here. An introductory sound. Okay. And then a bashing sound. I know it doesn't really sound like a bash-in, but think about the introductory sound, and it could be opposite, okay? And then this. That might be your louder sound. The way I played it on the video of the medley is an introductory sound, and then a like, okay, now we're playing it all together sound, okay? And then that's how you play that passage. It's one of my favorite things to play that Metallica has ever written. I've been playing that for years and years. And as soon as I started learning fingerstyle, it was one of the things I already knew how to play fingerstyle. So of course I kept playing it. I always went back to it. So it's a fantastic thing to play. Play it 2 times introduction style, and then 2 times, you know, full sound style. And then you go right into Master of Puppets after that. So for Master of Puppets, we start with this arpeggiation of these chords that they play. And it's just very straightforward and just like the recording. So you start with the E minor chord, open 6th string, 5th string, 2nd fret with 2nd finger, 4th string, 2nd fret with 3rd finger, and then open 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings. Although we're not going to get there, I guess, before we switch chords. You can fret this E minor chord a bunch of different ways, so this is the way that I'm doing it right now. But choose the one that you like the best. We're gonna pluck string 6, 5, 4 with thumb, and then I pluck 3rd string with I. Then we're going to change to a D major chord. So we have open 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd fret with 1st finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret with 3rd finger, and then we're going to have kind of an open 1st string, or sometimes the 2nd fret, the F sharp on the 1st string with the 2nd finger. Okay, for the plucking hand, we're gonna move our setup. The fingers are kind of already there, but move your thumb up to the 4th string, and then pluck P, I, M, I, A, M, I, A. So, you know, if you got your fingers here, just when you need a string, pluck that finger, right? Easy peasy. For this little thing, we're going to play the open 1st string E. Quickly hammer on with the 2nd finger to F sharp on the 2nd fret, and then very quickly pull off with that 2nd finger. And you want that to ring clear. You don't want to get like a, because then all the notes won't be clean, right? After you do this, you put down for the last note of that chord, 4th finger on the 1st string, 3rd fret, that's a G. And if you're having trouble with this, practice it slow and like in tempo. Give yourself plenty of time to do that. Out of it. And make sure you don't have any fingers leaning against that 1st string, okay? If you're playing like this, it might happen. So get your fingers out above the strings, nice and curled, so that's not a problem for you. Okay, so we have this. Now we have this chord. It's like a C. It's like a C9 or something. Maybe, I don't know. So 5th string, 3rd fret with 2nd finger C. 4th string, 2nd fret with 1st finger E. Open 3rd string G. And then we're going to play a D on the 2nd string, 3rd fret with 3rd finger. Okay. So move your thumb to the 5th string here. And then I would put A on string 2, M on string 3, and I on string 4. And then your sequence for the plucking hand is going to be P, M, A, M, A, M, I, and then A. And that very last note, you let go of the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, you play that open. Now to the next chord we're going to build. We're going to start with the 5th string open A, then play 3rd string 2nd fret A with 3rd finger. Then I'm going to pluck that with M. Then play open 2nd open second string B. I'm going to pluck that with A. Then low A again, and then 5th string, 2nd fret, it's a B with 2nd finger. Then M and A right where they were. Then this B again on the 5th string. And then on the 4th string, 1st fret, this D sharp with 1st finger. And the 4th string I'm going to play with I finger, okay? And then M, A, right where they were. And right before we start the pattern over, we have a very sneaky G, a very sneaky low G. I say this is sneaky because I used to play this song all the time when I was younger, and I never knew that G was there. I would play or something like that, and I never heard this G until I made this medley, and I wanted to listen to it to double check I got the notes right, and I thought, oh man, I didn't even know that sneaky G was there. So reach out with your 4th finger here and play 6th string, 3rd fret G before you go on. And then it starts over. And this is such a great passage to play. I've been playing this on classical guitar ever since I've been playing classical. Now comes the part that where we're going to play the bass line of the song, and we're going to add one of the melodies that they have going, because that's all that I can manage. Okay. So we start with the low E, 6th string with the thumb. At the same time, we're going to play open 1st string E. After that, we're going to play a high B on the 1st string, 7th fret with 1st finger. And then a G, 2nd string, 8th fret with 2nd finger. And then another open 1st string. And let me show you these notes, and then I'll go over plucking hand ideas for you. Okay, so after this, we go here. We're going to play open 4th string D in the bass. At the same time, we're going to play 1st string 5th fret A with 4th finger. And then we're going to play F sharp 1st string 2nd fret with 1, and then 2nd string 3rd fret D with 2nd finger. And I'll just go ahead and say with plucking hand, it's kind of hard to tell you what to use. I tend to do A, M, I, A, M, I, M, something like that. Or sometimes I do sometimes here I do A, M, I, maybe like A, M, I, M, A, M, I. Okay, those are a couple of different ideas. You could alternate them all with 2 fingers, but just figure out a combination that's comfortable for you. After those notes, we have this, oops, that. Those quick ones I always do A, M, I. If if you've never practiced stuff with AMI before, it's very valuable, especially when you have these types of notes. You don't have to go back and forth with two fingers like really quickly. You can just very easily play notes a little quicker with kind of one roll of your hand. So come up with your fingerings, but with the quick ones I like AMI, so you might try that. Okay, so after this we have 3 quick Ds, 2nd string, 3rd fret, and on the 3rd one we play the 4th string again with the thumb. Okay, after the quick 3 Ds we have this A again, 5th fret, 1st string, and then F sharp, 2nd fret, 1st string, and then this D, 2nd string, 3rd fret, okay? And actually, at the very end of that, I'm going to change fingerings. 4, 1, and then I'm going to put 3 on that last D, okay? So we had 2 there before. And I'm going to put 3 there so I can do this, okay? So 2 is here. Now 3 is. Okay, so after 3 plays this D, we're going to play 5th string, 3rd fret, C in the bass with 2nd finger, and plucking with the thumb, of course. Up top, we're going to play 1st string, 3rd fret, G with 4th finger, and then play open 1st string, E, and then play 2nd string, 1st fret, C with 1st finger. A little bit of a stretch going on here between 2 and 1. Now we have 3 quick Cs, and on the 3rd one, pluck the bass note with your thumb. After the 3 quick Cs, we do this high G again, and then the open E, and then this C, okay? And by the time we play this last C, this one, you want to go ahead and relax your 2nd finger because you're about to use it. It comes from far away. This is the best fingering I could think of. So you might can think of a better one. But it comes from far away, and it's not a problem as long as you remember to relax it just a little bit early. When you're playing this bass line, you kind of think of it as each note ringing until you need the next one, okay? That's a good way to think of it, okay? But for physical reasons, relax the 2nd finger here, and then you can hit this next note like no problem, because your 1st finger is kind of stretched out, right? And in my hand, it wants to do that anyway, and that's where it needs to go. So just relax it a little bit early. Right here, and then it can play the next note, okay? It's a simple little thing, but to me it's a little trick that helps the passage work a lot. The next note you're going to play with this now, newly relaxed 2nd finger is a F sharp on the 1st string, 2nd fret. At the same time, you're going to play an open 5th string in the bass with your thumb. Then you're going to do another one of these ornaments, just like this one, with the same finger, except when you're done, play a D sharp on the 2nd string, 4th fret with 4th finger. feels like Middle Eastern or something. Very cool. After that, D sharp, go to C on the 2nd string, 1st fret with 1st finger. Okay. After that, you're going to play 2 Bs, one on the 5th string, 2nd fret with 2, and one open 2nd string. And with the plucking hand here, again, I'm kind of really not sure what to tell you. You're going to have to try out some things. I would try to keep my fingers lined up like this and not try and like cross them over as much as you can. Sometimes you'll have to cross, but if you're going from like 1st string, I would play M, 2nd string, I would play I, or A, and then M. If you can help it, maybe that will help you, or just do what feels natural. If it feels natural to cross, that's perfectly fine. So after these 2 Bs, play another C, 2nd string, 1st fret with 1. Oops. Then we're going to do like another kind of ornament. We're going to play this D on the 2nd string, 3rd fret with 4th finger. But instead of playing it straight forward like that, we're going to pluck the C first with 1st finger held here. And we're going to do a very quick slur, or hammer on rather, to the 3rd fret with your 4th finger. It's a quick one, it's not a slow one. That's something different, but they play it quickly like this. Okay. And then you're gonna have 1st finger goes to 4th string, 1st fret, it's a D sharp. You're gonna play this D here in that crunchy. Cool. 2nd string, 3rd fret with your 4th finger is here already. And then you're gonna play open 1st string, and then F sharp on the 2nd fret with 2nd finger, and then G on the 3rd fret on the 1st string with 4th finger. Or you can play that G with the 3rd finger. And again, try out some different right hand fingerings so you find something that feels comfortable. And then we start over. We play that twice, and then I go back to this part. Play it twice. And then go back to the other part. Maybe slow down a little bit at the very end, and then we go into Sanitarium. So for Sanitarium, it's pretty straightforward, pretty much just what you hear on Metallica's recording. I'm going to start with a pretty forceful open 6th string, because on the record it sounds like a big like chong, and they've got very specific, you know, EQing and effects or whatever going, and sounds really cool. As a solo guitarist, this is a great opportunity for you to explore your technique and your instrument. Come up with your best gong sound, okay? I can't remember exactly what I did when I made the melody, but I think I played it kind of bright and plenty of attacks, you know, so maybe my string even buzzes a little bit. Personally, I wouldn't want to do like more of a sound like this, because it sounds too sweet to me. If you like it, that's totally fine. But I mean, it doesn't really matter what I like. You need to find your own sound that you think fits this part as much as you can. Whatever it may be. And little notes like this that are uncomplicated but sound really special are such great opportunities to find new sounds that you can make. So I remember having a lot of fun trying out different sounds and then picking the one I like the best. So I won't tell you what to do there, except I'll just say do something interesting. Metallica certainly did. So let's start out with a big cool gong sound that you've shaped. Then we're going to do these harmonics, okay? As far as I can guess, they do these left hand. On classical guitar, I think they sound a little better in my hands to do them with plucking hand. The notes are the same. If you've never done plucking hand harmonics, I have a tutorial video on it. If you just look under the tag of harmonics, you'll see an explanation of artificial harmonics, and that's what you'll want to look at. All you have to do is touch the harmonic just like you would here, over the fret wire, and then just touching the string, not depressing it at all. Just touch it with your eye finger here, the tip of it, and then pluck the string with another finger. You can use pinky or A or even M. Currently, I like to play these with pinky. Been working very hard to shape them with pinky for a couple of different reasons, but so that's how I'm going to play them. Not that you can tell, but I'm just saying. But get to know this technique if you don't know it. It's really cool. It's really fun. And on fingerstyle guitar, there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. So all that rambling to say, when I play this medley, I do the harmonics right hand, or plucking hand, I should say. And it's totally a consequence of the instrument. That's the only reason. Okay. So big kajong, and then first string 12th fret harmonic, second string 12th fret harmonic. Okay. Then you have this. Okay. So get in second position here. You're gonna play second finger on the 3rd fret of the first string. It's a G. And then you're gonna play strings 1 and 2 together. Open second string and still this G on the first string. And then we're gonna do this. Do a big connected slur thing. Hammer on to 4th finger on the 5th fret of the first string. And then do a pull off back to 2. And then a pull off to 1. I can't remember exactly right now on the recording like how quick they do that, but I think it's pretty quick. Maybe something like that. Maybe not, but you know, because it still sounds melodic when they do it. It sounds really nice. This is a great technique builder too. It's a great opportunity to work that technique. So after that, another kajong harmonics. Bing, bong. Then we do this. Oops. So we're going to go down to F sharp this time. First string, second finger with 1. Then we're going to pluck strings 1 and 2 together. F sharp and then open second string. And then we're going to pluck F sharp one more time. Oops. Do a hammer on, so-called hammer on, to third string, first string, third fret with second finger. And then we're gonna pluck the two E's together, sixth string and first string together. I kind of wonder on the recording if they do this. They pluck it here and they do this here. Or it might be two different tracks, but I've always wondered that. When I used to play this with a pick, I would do, that's what I would do. But since we've got fingers, we can just do that. Okay, then you probably know how this goes with the rhythm, but do this 3 more times, and then you go strings 1, 2, 3. And if you listen to my recording of the medley, I screwed this up. I messed it up. I just hesitated a little bit. I got lost and I had to go back. But anyway, and then you start this. Okay, so after this, the way I always think about that is you're always going to go to that G on the third string. It just takes you a really long time to get there. And the way that they have written that, it really sounds like the introduction is like concluded. Like now we're ready to start the song. And then they certainly do. So I would recommend thinking of it like that, or at least something equally interesting, because it will really shape the way that you play it. I promise. Okay, so now this part. So we're going to use, to start out, the bottom 4 strings of the guitar. So I'm going to set up with my thumb on the 6th string, I on 5, M on 4, and A on 3. That's what the right hand's going to do for a little while. For these chords, I can't remember how they fret them. If they do it like this, or if they do it like this. You do either one. I do this because I don't have the biggest reach out there, for sure. So whatever's more comfortable. Anyway, so we're gonna play open 6th string, then 5th string 2nd fret is a B, as in boy. Then 4th string 4th fret, F sharp with 4th finger or 3rd finger, whatever your choice, and then open 3rd string G. Once you have that shape set, move everything up 1 fret, next chord, okay? After you have that, move everything up 2 frets, 1, 2, okay? So that's how the beginning of that lick goes. I'm going to fret 5th fret on the 6th string with 3rd finger is an A. 4th fret on the 5th string, are you confused yet? With 2nd finger, I know I am. That's an F, I'm sorry, it's a C sharp. See, I told you. And then open 4th string, that's a D. Plucking hand is still in the same place, so I've got P, I, M. Then we're going to do this. What we're going to do is take this same shape and move it down 2 frets, okay? Okay, but we don't just do this, because that's not exciting enough for Metallica. So what you do is you play this, and then you play this A on the 6th string, and then slide it down. it's kind of like you play it like this. So same shape, you're just moving it back and forth between 2 frets. Except you slide on the 6th string when you move to each new position. So the plucking hand is going to go strings. Let's see, you got P and I and M, so you do P, I, M, P, I, M, P, M. P on 6 and M on 4. And then you start over. Okay, so that's the lick. Now, I'll go ahead and say, since we're playing this finger style, and in this way, after I come from the introduction, I start out by playing it with this plucking hand fingering that I just showed you, and I'm going to play it a little bit warmer as an introduction to the lick, okay? Play it twice. Okay. Now we're going to keep all the notes the same, but I'm going to change technique. For that is, you know, that's when the song kicks in with the multi-tracked guitars, so the sound definitely changes in the guitars. The bass and drums also kick in. Okay, we still just have one instrument, but I want to use that effect a little bit. Well, kind of as much as we can almost, but it comes across as just like a little bit of a bash in. Okay, if we go from this to this. Change of sound. So how I get that is I go from this warm position, which is more over the sound hole, and I'm tilted more towards the A finger side of my hand. I'm going to do a tall wrist now, and I'm going to play all the notes with thumb, what we call rest stroke, or apoyando in classical guitar. And then I'm going to move, instead of being over the sound hole, I'm going to be about, I don't know, somewhere halfway between the bridge and the sound hole for a brighter, more aggressive sound. And I play it that way because I used to always play this lick and try out different sounds like that. And in my mind, like, the record is playing and I'm playing with it. So I have that going on in my mind of like, this is the first time we hear it, it's a little quieter. And so I'm going to play along with it because that's the feeling, okay? And now it kicks in. On the medley, I'll play it 2 more times like that, and then I go on. But I would definitely recommend doing something where you can try out a couple of different techniques, and then, I mean, you're playing the same lick, but you can come at it a couple of different ways. You can play this fantastic riff on the guitar and use it to shape your classical guitar technique. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought Metallica would be a good influence on classical guitar technique? But this is a good example of that. So set the introduction up the way that you want, and then pick out a few different sounds. You could actually almost switch the order of the sounds and just keep the mood the same. Let's say the first sound is going to be like the bright sound. Just go for that mood. Then if you want big here, you can do that too. opposite of what I did on the recording also works, as long as you're going for a very specific mood that you hear on the recording. And after that part, I think I slowed down a little bit. And then go into Bread Fan. So this little part, when this record came out that has Bread Fan on it, Garage Inc., I didn't understand what a cover was. So I just thought Metallica wrote this because it sounds like they did, you know what I mean? It could have gone somewhere on Master of Puppets or Justice or something. So they didn't write this, but they pretty much arranged how it goes. If you listen to the original version of the song, it's pretty different in the way they play it. They're strumming chords more, and this whole thing Metallica totally came up with in terms of like the arrangement of this lick. So even though they didn't compose this section, I thought it fit totally perfect in this medley, right next to Sanitarium, right next to One is what comes after it. And I love this lick. I've been playing it for years, and it's something I have used a lot to work on sound and tone. Just I like to listen to it so much. You go across all the strings, and it's just great to play. Okay, so let me show you how to play it. First, you're going to fret this E minor chord in this upper position. Before we had E minor down here. Now we have it up here. So start with the open 6th string E. 5th string, 7th fret, that's another E with 1st string. 4th string, 9th fret with 3rd finger, that's a B. Then we have 3rd string, 9th fret with 4th finger, that's another E. Then we have 2nd string, 8th fret with 2nd finger, that's a G. And then we have open 1st string, that's another E. Okay, and then I'm gonna do my setup with fingers I, M, and A in the highest position you can get. So on strings 3, 2, and 1. Thumb's going to start on 6, and it's going to play all the bass strings, all the wound strings. Okay. And the fingers are going to come in on the string they're sitting on when I need them. So the fingering is thumb, let's see, P, 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 I, M, A, M, I. Okay, and at this point, we've hit the 3rd string with I, and we're fretting that with 4th finger, and we're going to do a descending slur or a pull off onto the open 3rd string. After we pull off to that open G, we pluck it one last time. So we get da ya da, da ya da. So I have P, 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 I, M, A, M, I, slur, and then this last G, you could pluck with M, or you could even come down and pluck it with P. Or you could just do I two times in a row. Just don't tell your guitar teacher, because they'll get mad at you. But you could do A, M, I, slur, I, because I is just right there, okay? And for the rhythm, I won't count it out for you. I would just say listen to the track and imitate it. Da, 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 slur, da, 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 ya, da. For me, that's always been the easiest way to get a rhythm, is just try and listen to how it goes, how it moves, and imitate it. So after this, we're we're gonna move this same shape that we have down 2 frets. 1, 2. Same thing with the fretboard hand. Now, and we're gonna end up with that same slur with the 4th finger on the 3rd string. This time with the plucking hand, we don't start on 6, we start on 5. So I have these 3 fingers on the same strings, the top 3, and thumb's just gonna go down to 5. And here's the rhythm for this. P, P, I, M, A, M, I, slur, M. And remember that last G, you can pluck with M or P or I again, whatever you like. So if you're just learning this, before you go on, just practice between going between these 2 chords and getting the rhythms right. So we have da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da. Okay, and if you're a fingerstyle guitarist, this is a great opportunity to work on your sound, your tone, okay? When you pluck a single note, what does it sound like? And this is a great opportunity because this is slow moving, but it's nice to listen to, and you're changing between 2 interesting harmonies. So, not only what does your stroke sound like, but what does it sound like when you change? What does that mean to you, and how does that affect the way you play the notes? So you play each of those chords. How do I say this? I don't know how to say it. You play it like this. Okay. If that's one time, then you do it again. As like the little introduction, okay? And then on that second one, that's when Lars comes in with the drums. So then, like, I don't do a big sound change here, but there's a slight addition in the notes once like the band kicks in. So did you hear it? There's just some extra notes on the 5th string when you change between chords. Okay, so it starts out normal, everything the same. Now go to the 5th string, 6th fret. It's an E flat with 2nd finger, and play that to lead into this D minor chord. After you play this D minor chord, you're gonna play what now becomes, we might say now it's a D sharp instead of an E flat. Back to the E minor shape, okay? Again with 2nd finger. I would recommend playing this E flat with 2nd finger instead of playing with 1st finger and doing this, because you'll get a big nasty squeak. If you don't care about squeaks, then don't worry about it. But if you're worried about wanting it to sound smooth, then play with 2nd finger. That's the easiest way for me to avoid the squeak. Even though 1 is already there, if I do this, I'll be much more liable to squeak. And I'll really have to think about it. Okay, if I do 2, it's just like a scale or something. It doesn't feel like a squeaky move. Okay, once you have this line in there, it totally changes the lick, okay? Especially if you're playing it on one guitar. You now have these big notes that lean into the next chord. So do with that what you will. You have a brand new voice to pay attention to. And then it continues, okay? Okay, so after we play this 2 times, then we play it 2 more times with this lead-in note. Okay. At the end of the second time, we go down further. Second finger is going to go to the 5th string, 4th fret, to what might be a D flat. And it resolves to the C on the 3rd fret there of the 5th string. And then we fret this, what's a very stretchy chord for me. So we have 1st finger here. 4th finger goes to 4th string, 5th fret, that's a G. Then we have another open G on the 3rd string, we have a unison. Then we have 2nd string, 3rd fret, D with 2nd finger. And then we have open 1st string, E. And what makes this tricky for me is we have this stretch going on between 2 and 4, but we can't just do whatever we want to get there because we have 2 open strings that need to ring. So be sure your 4th finger is, you can see my elbow move. Whatever direction you call that is moving towards my body, so the 4th finger can kind of curl and get over that 3rd string so it doesn't touch it. And that's the rhythm for this arpeggiation. So we come from here. This chord. Oops. So we start by leaning into it with a low F on the 6th string, 1st fret, and then we go to this E minor 7, 9, 7, 7. So after we do this, fret E minor chord, open 6th string, 5th string, 2nd fret with 1st finger, 4th string, 2nd fret with 2nd finger, 3rd string open, and then 2nd string, 3rd fret that I'm going to fret with 4. You could do it with 3 also, but it's easier for me with 4, and then open 1st string. At the end, we're going to end with a slur or a pull off with this 4th finger to the open string, okay? And here's the rhythm. We've got the same setup here that we've had the whole time, with thumb going to the 6th string. It's just like this. Almost just like it. First time you get to that part, you play this twice, and then you go back to this high E minor shape and do it again, okay, the whole thing. Then when you get back down here, you just vamp on this for a while. so then you end up playing that 4 times, and then this is one of the few times where I add a little transition between parts just to make it sound like it can flow there. Before we get to 1, so we come from this, and then I do this F to E, and then play an open 4th string D, and then we're gonna fret at the beginning of 1 and go into it, right? I thought that sounded a little bit smoother. Most of the songs just flow right together because of the key areas and stuff. This one, I just want to add just a couple notes just to make them fit together. So after this last arpeggio, you can take your time with it before you go into 1. So now we transition into 1. To this intro riff here. So this is pretty simple to play. We're going to put our first finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret. That's a B. And then we're going to play this F sharp on the 4th string, 4th fret. You can play that with finger 4 or finger 3. I like to play it with finger 4. But you can use 3 if you want. So we're going to play this B, then the F sharp, then the B again, then we're going to play an open D, open 4th string. And that's the very first thing you hear in the piece. And for the plucking hand, play with my thumb on the 5th string, and these other notes you can play with probably I or M. I use M. I do P, M, P, M. But you could do P, I, P, I if you want, or P, M, P, I. You can even do all thumb. That sounds fun. Just use the most comfortable fingering for you. So after we play this, we do the same rhythm, except instead of this B here, we're going to play a G on the 6th string, 3rd fret. I'm going to use my 2nd finger there. Oops. There it is. So the same rhythm. The rhythm is da 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 da. Another one of these. And then we have this. So it's a little bit different. This is the same, da 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 da, but then we add an open 3rd string G. And the rhythm is just da 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 da. Before we continue, okay? And I would think about how you want that open G to sound. On their recording, it really pops out and it rings. It sounds like it's on its own track, you know, like they had one track where someone just played that G. I guess it would have been James. That's all he did was just wait for that moment and then just played that G for full effect. So color it how you want. Usually on classical guitar like this, you want to color things like the same. You want things to have the same color so it sounds like it makes sense. Here's an instance where you might color that G maybe as different as you can make it. I can't remember exactly what I did on the recording, but that kind of might be in the spirit of Metallica. I just moved towards the bridge to pluck that G. And give it plenty of volume too. It's not really like a, you know, they kind of play pretty loud. And you can let it ring as much as you can, but you know, on my guitar, as soon as you play this, it's almost gone, you know. So let it ring as long as you can, but it's probably gonna die pretty soon. That's okay. So after we do this, come back to this shape. Now a new shape, not too different. All we're gonna do is play the open 5th string, which is an A, and keep the other F sharp and D the same. So from this, okay, and then on the recording you will hear, but I've heard many live instances where they now do, and I think that sounds very cool, so that's the way I play it in the medley. So from here, we're going to get back to this shape, which you already know, but we're just going to add a pickup to this low G, and it's going to be open E, 6th string, hammer on to the F sharp on the 2nd fret, and then play that G. And the timing of it is, make sure this is before the beat, that the G is right on the beat. So this comes before it. Okay, then we're gonna do this. This is just low E with thumb, and then 5th string, 2nd fret B. Well, I guess I would use 2nd finger. I don't think this is how I recorded it, but I would do this today. Play it with the 1st finger. Then you're going to play this F sharp 6th string 2nd fret. I would play that with 2nd finger, and then back to low open E, and then this thing. So this is just B 5th string 2nd fret, and as soon as you can, you're going to hammer on to the 5th string 4th fret. You can do that with finger 4 or finger 3, and then return to the B. So the line really is, but with that very quick hammer on, we call it a grace note. It's, so as soon as you can get it down, get to that F sharp with the hammer on. And then I think it's important to make these notes staccato, which means keeps them short. That's what they do in the recording. It's very obvious and it sounds very good. So I would work it so that they're staccato, not so that it is. That's a different type of sound. And an easy way to achieve that, you can, well, here's how I would do it. I would alternate I and M on that 5th string. And when you play one, just immediately plant the other one. I don't know if you can see. So it makes a very quick, short sound. That's the easiest way I know of to make it staccato. You can try and release with the left hand, but to me it's just a lot more work, so I wouldn't even recommend it. I would cultivate this technique where you stop the string because the other finger is on the string. It's a little bit different feel for me to play that way, so I only use it if I want to cut the note short like that. Otherwise, it's kind of a weird movement. So work on making those nice and staccato. And then you'll sound more like Metallica, right? Which is the whole point. Okay, so after this, we're gonna kick into the riff, okay? You're gonna use the same shapes that you already know. Okay, the rhythm is going to be a little bit different. So instead of this, da, 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 we have this. Da, 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 da. So we have 5th string, 4th string, 5th string, open 4th string twice, da, da, and then 4th fret, and then open string. For that first rhythm. Okay, and then just to confuse you, they kind of switch it when you go here. It goes. So instead of this, we have this. Da, 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 da. So you have 6th string G, F sharp here on the 4th string, G, and then open D, and then 2 F sharps, and then 1 D. Okay, so again. Da, 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 da. And just listen to them do that a lot and work it, and you'll eventually get it. For the plucking hand here, you're free to, you know, these lowest notes, I play with the thumb. For these, you can go back and forth with like I and M. Or, I think the way I played it on the recording was when there were 3 in a row, I would do A, M, I. Okay. So my fingering ended up being something like P, M, P, A, M, I, M, P, M, P, I, A, M, I. Something like that, okay? Those groups of 3, when you chain A, M, and I together, it can feel like a nice flow. If you haven't worked that and it feels unnatural, then I would just use I and M. It's a little bit of a quick turnaround, but it's not really too bad. Or I and A even, some people like that. Okay, so here's where we are. We're gonna go back to the first shape. And then we're gonna do this. So that's slow G, this F sharp on the 4th string, 4th fret, the low G again, open 4th string, and then open 4th and 5th strings together. And so this is a neat little crunchy chord that they do. And the D before the chord, the open 4th string, I play staccato. I think that's the way they do it from before. So I'm gonna play that D with M very quickly, put I on the string, and then play P and I together. You probably want that chord to pop a little bit. It's pretty cool. Now we continue on. That part's the same. Okay, this is the same shape as the introduction where we have open A, open 5th string. Still this F sharp here. Oops. And this time we're going to keep the same rhythm they've got going, but we're going to work our way to the 3rd string. So it's A, F sharp, A, open D, and then 2 F sharps, and then open 3rd string. Sorry, I messed up that for that. And then when you get to this low G here, that's the same shape that you've already been doing. Okay. And then play a low E, low 6th string. And then we're going to do 4th string, 2nd fret with 1st finger here. And then we're going to very quickly hammer on to the 4th fret. I do it with 4. You can do it with 3 if you want. go back to that E on the 4th string. Okay, then we're going to do this little transition thing. It's just power chords, kind of, if that helps you, if you know what a power chord is, what we call a power chord. So the first one is 6th string, 2nd fret with 1, and then 5th string, 4th fret with either 4 or 3. Then take that same shape, moving up 1 fret, and you're going to play strings 6, 5, and 4. Okay, so these two notes are the same, they're both D. And I'm going to do P, I, M, okay? P, I, M, and then one more low G. G, and then go to the open 5th string A. And then play 4th string, 2nd fret E. And I'm gonna, with this E, it's hard to say. I think I might use 2nd finger. You'll have to see when you're working this part. It really depends on what comes next. The next shape I'm gonna ask you to do is this one. So you can say what feels the best to get there. Maybe 3, maybe 2, maybe 1, who knows. Okay, so let me back up just a little bit. And it goes right into it. Of course, they're playing with drums, so that's like is an obvious thing. But when you're playing it on your own on one guitar, it's transitional. It's like a bridge from one thing to the other. So go right into that next part. So this next part was really fun to arrange, and I'll show you a couple ways you can do it. Not really arranged, but just kind of combine a couple other parts to play it on one guitar. So it starts out like this. So we're going to fret 2nd string, 3rd fret, D, and I'm going to use 4. 3rd string, 2nd fret, A, and I'm going to use 3. The reason for that is the next shape, that's where I put those fingers on those strings. Okay. So fret these. And it starts on an open D, open 4th string. Okay, so put your thumb on 4th string, I on 3, and M on 2, and say P, M, I, M, P, M. Okay. Okay, after that, we're going to go up to 3rd position, and we're going to be using a bar here. Make sure I explain this right. So you see my bar finger sticking out. I'm not immediately barring all 6 strings. I'm actually only pressing 1 right now, the low 6th string. So from here, shift fingers 3 and 4, both up to the 5th fret. They're on the same strings, just instead of being 1 fret apart, they're both on the 5th fret. 3's on a C, and 4's on an E. Now reach out with your first finger like you're gonna bar, but only press down that low G 6th string 3rd fret, just for now, for starters. Okay. You can save a little bit of energy this way. It's in the shape of the bar finger, and it might not look any different. But I'm not pressing down here quite yet. It's touching the strings, it's ready, but it's not going to press until I actually need it. Okay, so you're going to first pluck this 3-note chord on strings 6, 3, and 2. Okay. After this, Now we're going to use the bar, but only on one string, okay? Only on the second string. If the only way you can get this is to bar all 6 strings, that's fine. But most of us can find a way to not press some strings and only bar the ones that you need. It really helps you in instances like this. It saves your bar finger and your whole left hand in general, or it does mine anyway. So what we're going to do here is bar the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. It's this one. It's a D. Second finger is going to come in on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. That's a B. Okay. And before we do the little ornament, we'll just say that's the chord. Okay. And it ends up going to this shape here with 2nd finger on 3rd string, 2nd fret A, 1st finger on 2nd string, 1st fret C. And then it goes to open 2nd and 3rd strings. So before you worry about the ornament, worry about getting this sounding nice. Okay. Now with this chord, you can do what I'm just doing here, where you curl your 1st finger to get that C, or you can do what we call a hinge bar, where you use your 1st finger, but you straighten it out and you catch that note with this side of your finger. Since my finger is already in the bar shape, okay, it might be easier for some to just do that, okay? And I'm not pressing down any of the other strings. I'm pressing down one a little bit on accident, but I'm not focusing on it. And then before I tell you the ornament, I'm about to tell you about it real quick, but you end with low G, this G, right? 6th string, 3rd fret with 3rd finger. And then play the open 2nd and 3rd strings one more time. So if this is a brand new passage to you, get to know this first, okay? And make these thirds that are moving really nice and smooth, okay? Or if you want to do the hinge bar, whatever you like. Okay, now the ornament. I'll give you 2 choices. So the track has both melodies here, or the melody and the harmony rather, doing the ornament, and they do them together, which I don't know how to do. I'm sure there's a way to do it. So I learned this a while ago on fingerstyle guitar. If you're playing two lines and you only ornament one of them, sometimes the effect can come across almost as if they were both ornamented, if you can just make it flow that way. So here what you're going to do is choose one line to ornament. If it's smooth and quick, then I think it'll sound alright. You can kind of get away with it, okay? Now which line do you choose? Well, that's up to you. You can choose the top one or the bottom one. Okay. If you do the top one, you're going to ornament with the 4th finger. So when you play this chord, hammer on the 4th finger on 2nd string, 5th fret, and then immediately pull off. That's how that sounds. Okay. If you want to do the bottom one, then you can either use finger 3 or finger 4. I think I would use finger 3 just if it were me. I don't know. That's one of those things for me. It's like, depends on what side of the bed you get on. The next day I'm going to change my mind. But if you want to do the lower line, when you get to this chord, you're going to quickly hammer on to the 5th fret from the 4th fret. So it's only one 1 fret half step interval there. So if it's with 3, or if it's with 4, or if you can find a way to do them both and make them sound good, to do something like that, I mean, go for it. Why not? I just couldn't figure it out, like without making it sound really rough. So try them both out and pick the one that you think sounds smoother and the one that you think you can get away with more. Like the one that sounds like maybe if someone wasn't paying attention, they would think both lines were being ornamented. Oops. Okay. Cool thing to practice. Okay, so after that, we end here for the next part. Okay, first finger's on 6th string, 1st fret. That's an F. 4th finger is on 4th string, 3rd fret. That's also an F. 2nd finger is on 3rd string, 2nd fret. That's an A. And you play those 3 together: P, I, and M. Okay. After you play this 3-note chord, you're gonna play I and M again. And then I and M are going to go to strings 3 and 2, and they're just going to play those open. Okay. And all the while, your first finger is holding down this F. Okay, before it moves on to something else. So here, open strings, and then, whoops, not that. For the next chord, you've got this low F here. 3rd finger is going to come back down on 3rd string, 2nd fret A, and 1st finger is going to do this fake bar thing again, where you only bar 1 string. On the 2nd string, 1st fret, that's a C. Okay. After this, you play the 3-note chord, okay, with the low F. And then bring your 4th finger back to that F, 4th string, 3rd fret. And I just let the C ring. Don't try and stop it. But I actually think it sounds better if you stop it. Yeah, I think it sounds better. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. That sounds cleaner, I think, than letting it ring. Either way, it's brief. Oops. Okay, for this last chord, of course, I and M go down to strings 4 and 3, where they started. Okay, after this, we're going to play 3 open strings. Strings 6, 3, and 2. Chord, and we're going to do a double hammer on 3rd and 2nd string. 3rd string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret. 2nd string is 1st finger, 1st fret. And this is what I couldn't get away with here. Here you can get away with it. And both lines do that. But since it's open strings, it sounds smooth enough. Ooh, sorry, I keep doing that. And then one last low E to end that. Oops. Before we start over again. The second time you play that run, it ends a little bit different. This is the same. And then we're going to play 2nd and 3rd strings open. Then we're going to play this chord, low E open. It sounds so cool on its own. and then 4 and 2 are here, where they were for this chord, okay? On strings 4, 3rd fret, and string 3, 2nd fret. And then that's gonna go right to open 3rd string G, 4th string, 2nd fret E with 1. Okay. So first time, second time, and then one last note before we start this again. It's a C, 5th string, 3rd fret. I play with my 2nd finger. Okay. So that's that part, and then you play the part previously exactly the same, except you kind of played almost twice as long. When you do this, when you get to that part, you cut it a little bit shorter and then start over. Oops. Start over. And then here, I kind of not change the music, but I do this again. And then go back into this part. And the reason for that is because I didn't want to go into the song any further. I mean, this is a medley, so I just want to highlight this song and go on, highlight that song, go on. It's not a full-blown arrangement. And I liked this part, and I wanted to get back to it. So I just go back into that part. The same as before. Oops. And then it's the same. What do I do here? Yeah, I think I do the same C, but I just go back up to it. I think that's how I do it, and I play that part an extra time just to get a little bit more juice out of it. And then that's one. After that, we go to My Friend of Misery. So for My Friend of Misery, I've always liked this line that Jason starts with. And I've always played it on the guitar because I'm a guitar player. So I just decided to throw it in there. And then this middle part that they play, I think is also really nice. It's so simple, but such a nice part. So I thought the two of those matched up well for the sake of this medley. So first, let me show you the so-called bass part. That's not it. So for this part, you're going to use the open 5th string a lot, and always play that with your thumb. And then we're, pretty high up here on the fingerboard for classical guitar anyway. That's getting up there. Fret on the 2nd string, the 6th fret. That's an F with your 1st finger, and then 3rd string, 7th fret. That's a D with your 2nd finger. And the beginning of the 1st figure goes like that, and I'm going to put M on 2nd string, I on 1st string. You could also do A and M up here if you want, or A and I even, whatever. If you want to make it a thumb exercise, you could do this. Try not to hit the wrong string like I was doing there. But, you know, for practicality's sake. So this very beginning goes P, M, I, P, M, I, P, M. And this is kind of a weird rhythm, but you can see why, you know, like many of Metallica's parts, when you play it a little while, it definitely fits into a groove, and you can see why they wrote it. I mean, it's easy to get a hold of, okay, after just a short period of time. So the beginning goes like that: P, M, I, P, M, I, P, M. Now reach up to the 10th fret on the 2nd string with your 4th finger. Okay, that's an A. You hear the octave here, double octave actually, or 2 octaves, double octave, 2 octaves. And I'm going to actually play that with my A finger, because my M finger just played, and I don't want to jump with I. And then play I on the 3rd string where it was, and then P. And then I would, you could do 3 here, but I would just slide down 4. Oh, gross. Slide down 2 frets. Your next fret is 2nd fret, 2nd string, 8th fret. I'm sorry, that's a G. And you can play that with 3rd finger, or you can just slide down 4. That feels pretty nice too, if you just put 3 down. Okay, and that figure is A, I, P, M, I, P, M, I. Oops. Now we're going to move down here, and we're going to play 2 strings with the 1st finger with a little mini bar. 2nd string 5th fret and 3rd string 5th fret with this. And I'm just so slightly bending the middle joint, just slightly. The rhythm's the same, so we're going to go P, M, I, P, M, I, P, M. Now reach out 4, not as bad this time, just the 8th fret, G on the 2nd string. A, I, P. And then 2nd finger on this 2nd string, 6th fret, that's an F. I, P, M, I. P, M, I, P, M, I, P, M, A, I, P, M, I, P, M, I. Then you go back up to the original shape. And if you're playing this on one guitar, I would think about this line that it makes. Well, I mean, you don't have to, but that's the way that I like to think about it. When those kind of go up and then they come back down. I think it's really, really pretty. Great music. So play that. I think I play it 4 times. But you'll have to listen to the medley to make sure. After you play that, you do this part. Okay. Very cool. I used to play this this all the time too on a clean electric guitar. So let me show you the notes, and then we'll talk about fingering a little bit with the left hand. Okay, starts with 5th string open A. Okay, then we're gonna play 4th string 2nd fret E, and we're gonna do a quick hammer on to the 3rd fret. I maybe shouldn't say quick. It's not like the other ones that we've been having before. Remember before when I was like, you know, don't do it slow. I was like, do it fast. Okay, this one is the opposite. Don't do it fast, do it slow. Not really slow, it's in tempo, but it's like this. We just do a slur. But don't do it fast. It's a different thing, okay? So 2nd fret, hammer onto the 3rd fret of the 4th string, then play 2nd fret on the 3rd string. That's an A. Oops. Then play the D on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Okay. And then for left-hand fingering here, there's so many options. I think the one I would recommend at this very moment is open string, 2nd finger here, hammer on with the 3rd finger, play 2nd finger on the 3rd string, and then play the D with your 4th finger. That feels the most like a chord to me, which is makes it feel very secure. Remember what I did on the recording, but I don't think I did that. I might have done this. If you're a big 1st and 2nd finger player, some people just do almost everything with these two, occasional 3rd finger, and their 4th finger is just almost unusable because it's way out here. Okay, if that's the way that you play, you can do it all with 1 and 2. Just do 1, 2, 1, 2. In classical playing, we do a lot of this type of stuff, and we have to use fingers 3 and 4 all the time. So I just get used to using them almost whenever possible. Okay, so that's what I would do. But figure out what you like. Okay, so after this, and with the right hand there, I'm just have I, M, and A on a string, so 3, 2, and 1. Thumb plays strings 5 and 4. So P, P, slur, I, M. P, P, slur, I, M. And when I say slur, that's what we use for hammer-ons. In classical terminology, you call them a slur. Okay. After this, you do this cool move. So cool. So all you're going to do is keep this, whatever finger you've got for this D, I have 4, on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Play that, and also play the open E string on the 1st string. Okay. After you play that 2-note chord, which I'm going to play with M and A over here because that's what I've got on those strings, do a quick slide up 2 frets on the 2nd string to the 5th fret, which creates a unison. Those are both E's. Okay. Then you're going to slide back down. Okay. And you're going to pluck, slide, pluck, slide. Okay. When you pluck both strings. And then end back on the 3rd string, 2nd fret A, with it depends on what finger you've got, but whatever finger I use 2. Whatever finger you have over there, play that, okay? And then these 2 slides are not exactly the same. The first one, I think, is faster. I haven't listened to their recording in a while, but I think the first one is quick, and the second one is lazy. and it makes it sound super cool. It really makes it sound musical. Very cool. And this sounds sad. So try and work on the timing of that. That's kind of what it might sound like out of context. And then we'll think about this whole phrase kind of blossoming up and then coming back down to the A. This final A. Okay. And the most important thing to achieve that type of effect is don't play this last A too loud. We all have a tendency when we finish a phrase to stomp on it and be like, I'm done, I did it, I got there. But a lot of times, that's not a very nice effect. Okay, that doesn't do this. It does this. Bam. So, grow here, and then come back down, play this nice. Maybe some vibrato would sound good. Okay, now this part. All we're doing here is filling out an A minor chord. We start on the open 5th string again, then play 4th string, open, hammer on to the 2nd fret with 2nd finger, and then play that note one more time. So we're going to do open, hammer, play, all on the 4th string. Same thing on the 3rd string after that. And then I'll go over right hand fingering options. So here, open, hammer, pluck. Now play open 3rd string, hammer on the 2nd fret, same thing, pluck. And I would use 3rd finger on the 3rd finger on the 3rd string. I'll do open, hammer, pluck, open, hammer, pluck, and then you end with the 2 notes of your A minor chord. 1st finger is playing the 2nd string 1st fret, that's a C, and then you play the open E together. Oops. And hold all this out once you build it. I would say. I wouldn't play it. I would just fill out the chord. Okay. With plucking hand, what I do is I want to line up this shape that we've been working with where A is on the highest string and you have M and I behind it and thumb is on anything below that, okay? So play thumb, then on the 4th string I'm going to play I, then do the slur, and then play thumb. So now what's happened? Now my hand is in this highest position that I'm going to need. I, P. Now I is going to play on the 3rd string, and then I do P again. Oops. And then to keep the articulation the same. And then for this 2-note chord at the end, you can use I and M or you can use A and M, whatever you like. I use A and M, and I just let I relax. It's like I slur P, I slur P. Now I finger's done. A and M, just play that chord. I've been using A and M for this, so it feels like it fits into the scheme. And that's how you do it. And I played that 4 times, I think. I mean, that's what they do in the recording. I'm sorry, I should know, but you can listen to it and see. Or if you're gonna play this, I mean, you should really decide. I I want to say I only play it 3 times before we go on. But you should say, yeah, I want to play it 3 times, or no, I want to play it 4 times. I think on the recording they play it 3 times. So these types of things you just kind of put together on your own. That's one of my very favorite passages of the whole medley. I just love those parts. I think they're so great. The very last time I do it, I think I do a retardando, which means just slow down a little bit, make it sound final. Take your time, and then when you're ready, you know how we're going to wrap it up. So the medley ends with the very iconic Nothing Else Matters. And I just always knew I wanted to put this song at the very end. It's just like I didn't feel like anything could come after it. I just think it sounds best at this point in the medley. So I'll show you how to play this. It's a tricky passage for sure. If you don't know how to play this on guitar, maybe you've heard someone say like, oh, yeah, that song is, just uses open strings. It's the easiest Metallica song in the world, and how easy is that? And I've heard people say that a lot. The funny thing about that is, okay, yeah, true. This is nice and easy. No fretting required. Okay, still have to finger pick, so there is that. That's not the simplest thing in the world. But after that, it very quickly turns into like one of the most complicated things that James had ever written. I mean, especially at that point, it like very quickly gets so complicated and much more difficult. So, you can tell that to your guitar friends if they ever say, oh yeah, it's easy, nothing else matters, anybody can play that. You can say, yeah, for the first couple of measures, and then, good luck after that, you're gonna need it. So I'll show you how to play it. It's a little bit challenging, so just keep that in mind. But man, it sure is a great part to play, so it's worth learning. Okay, so as I mentioned in the intro, you're gonna just play open strings. So put your thumb on 6, I on 3, M on 2, A on 1, and you're just gonna say P, I, M, A, M, I, P. Okay, you're gonna play it 4 times, almost completely 4 times. On the very last note of the 4th time, you're going to come in with this high B, 1st string, 7th fret. I'm going to play it with 3, 3rd finger. Okay, and also I'll go ahead and mention, just because this is on open strings, don't forget the musical purpose of this. It's an introduction. It's going to set the stage. It's going to set the stage for the whole piece. Okay? That's really important. So get the volume that you want. Make sure it's controlled. Get the sound that you think will set the stage. Make sure this sounds nice and flowing. Okay? Because if you don't set the right mood from the beginning, it's going to be hard to get the audience there after that. I mean, they don't know what you want them to do. But if you just tell them exactly where you want them to be, and just make it sound like they never had any other choice to begin with, then from there you only have places to go in the piece. I mean, you could take them wherever you want. But don't overlook that. On the contrary, the easier it is to play, the more we should be doing that stuff. If you can play it no problem, then good for you. You actually have a lot more decisions to make, because it's no problem for you to play. So that's my little ramble about that. But don't forget how important that is. Okay, if you're gonna play this medley, when this part kicks in, when this song kicks in, everybody knows what it is. Okay, if they've been watching or listening this far. then they for sure know what it is, okay? So don't screw it up, and give them exactly what they want. Take them to this place where nothing else matters happens, okay? It's a very, very special place. So don't overlook the importance of your musicality in that, okay? And I mean, if you want an example of that, listen to the Black album, okay? The tone of James' guitar. You can listen to the volume, the way he plays it, and I mean, it's just you're there. You already know exactly where he wants you to be, and you're right there. You don't have to think about it. Okay, so moving on. After we play this first high B, okay, then we're gonna play another high B together with a low E, then strings 2 and 3 open. Then we're gonna play this high B on the first string and quickly do a pull off to the open string. And this one, I don't think it's super quick. I think it's like a eighth note or something. Okay. After the pull off, play strings 2 and 3, then 6, 3. Then we're gonna do. Okay, so this is 2-note chords, strings 2 and 1. Open second string, and we have this B on the 7th fret. Play those two together, and then play them again, and very quickly do a hammer on to the 8th fret on the first string. It's pretty quick. You can really do it how you want, but I might do it quick. So after that, you're gonna do this. It's a cool lick. It'll give me headaches for a long time. Still does sometimes. So you're gonna do, this is the figure. Pluck with 3rd finger on the fingerboard. Slur up with 4th finger. Do a pull off, and then do another pull off from 3 to 1, which is at the 5th fret. The timing of it is, practice something like this so that every move is strong and even. In the context of the piece, the timing is a little bit more time on the very first note, and then the other 3 have to catch up. So practice it until you can get this under control. And then phrase it that way. Okay, so after this, we're gonna play 2nd string open, 1st string 5th fret with 1, and then very quickly hammer on to the 7th fret on the 1st string. And all these chords with the right hand, I'm plucking with M and A, because that's where they are. You can do I and M too if you want. After this, 1 more A on the 5th fret, and then move down to the G on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Play it, and then do a slur to the open E string. I know that's a lot of stuff. You're just gonna have to take it one step at a time if you're just learning this for the first time. Then we have 5th string open in the bass with our thumb, and we have an open 1st string. Then we're gonna fret 3rd string 5th fret with 3rd finger, the C, 2nd string 5th fret with 4th finger, that's an E, and then eventually we're gonna fret 1st string 2nd fret That's an F sharp. Well, not eventually, like pretty immediately, actually. Okay, this is a stretchy thing for me, but I mean, a little work and you can get it. So we play this chord, then we play third string, then second string, then we play this F sharp, and then we immediately do a pull off to the open E. And the timing is as if we did this. The plucking hand, just P, I, M, A, M, I, and just add that slur in there. And it kind of has that effect because we've had this note that we went away from. We came back to it. Now we're gonna pull ourselves away a little bit. Very cool. And then go right back up. P, I, M, A. Okay, now we're going to do this. People love this movement too. Why not? I love it. So these fingers, 3 and 4, are at the same place. Same string, same fret. Low voice is going to go open 5th string, then to the 2nd fret, it's a B, then to the 3rd fret, that's a C. With the I, M, and A fingers, you're going to play strings 3, 2, and 1. And 1st string is open. And again, he keeps these short, the first 2 anyway. So pop, pop, and then you go on, okay? An easy way to do this, just like before when we did this, after you pluck, put your fingers back on the strings. So not only will you be ready beforehand to pluck the next chord, but you will get that staccato sound. And if you know how the song goes, then you know it just doesn't sound right if you don't do that. Okay. So it's like very, very cool, right? Very cool. Great choice. So after those, this last one, you play the chord, and then you say P, I, M, I. Now move with 1st finger up to the 3rd fret. That's a G on the 1st string. Pluck it with A finger, and then do an open slur, a slur to the open E. P, I, M, I, A, slur, M, I. And then you end with another chord. 4-note chord. Okay. Oops. Then you take this same shape and move it up 2 frets. And you heard that last one before you shift also being short. Short, like that. Ooh, gross. I think that's how it's supposed to go. So after this, we're in the same shape. We have 5th fret, 5th string, 3rd string, 7th fret, 2nd string, 7th fret. Pluck the chord. Do the same pattern at the beginning. P, I, M, I. P, I, M, I. Now we're going to do this. So first play the open 1st string, hammer on to the 5th fret with 1st finger, then pull off to the 1st string, then play the 2nd string 7th fret as an F sharp, either with finger 4 or finger 3, whatever you like, and then pull off that one to the open string, open 2nd string, then pluck the open string on the 2nd string, and then hammer on to the 5th fret of the 2nd string, that's an E, with 1st finger. Okay, So first string pluck, hammer on 5th fret, pull off open string, pluck 7th fret of the 2nd string, now pull off to the open 2nd string, now pluck the open 2nd string, now hammer on to the 5th fret of the 2nd string, okay? And the timing of this, I'm not exactly sure if this one is even, or if it's like this, if the first note is a little bit longer. I think I played it with the first note being a little bit longer. But you can do it however you like. After that lick, for the right hand there, what am I using? I do A, M, I. It might sound cool to do all rest strokes there. Maybe. That might be cool. Okay. But after this lick, play the low E, and then you're going to do the same pattern, but going up, you're going to do harmonics at the 12th fret. So just lightly touch each of those strings right above the fret wire of the 12th fret. And that's like, once you do this, it's like ascending to that high E is like the purpose of your introduction, okay? You made it, you've been doing all this stuff, and you got there. And now we're going to move on, right? So make sure those harmonics ring out like bells. So after that, we play the figure from the very beginning a little bit. Then we do this. Oops. This is the same chord from the middle of Bread Fan. Remember this? Same chord, with the exception of you're gonna do a bar on the 1st string, 7th fret. And again, you don't have to bar all the way across because you got all these fingers down. So just make sure first finger is doing the 5th string and it's getting the 1st string. So we have frets 0, 7, 9, 9, 8, and 7. Okay. With right hand, I'm doing P, 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 I, and then M and A together for the chord. Now we're going to do this. First finger goes to 5th fret on the 5th string. Second finger goes to 4th string, 7th fret. Third finger goes to 3rd string, 7th fret. And 4th finger goes to 2nd string, 7th fret. And I do thumb, thumb, I, M, P, P, I, M. Move the whole thing down 2 frets. Do the same thing. And notice how the last chord is staccato. And by now you're an expert at how to do that with your plucking hand. Just prep it earlier. And for this part, make sure your ear goes to the bass line enough. It's simple. But don't neglect it, okay? Make sure it's connected. If you do something like this, I think you're missing something that'll make it sound good on one guitar, okay? Without a bass or anything. In fact, I think of the arpeggio almost as starting after that. This is like bass, and then we have da-da-da-da, and we have bass. Da-da, ba-da, da-da-da-da. So you play that twice. The third time, if you caught it, it changes the order of the notes just barely. So instead of going from string 6, 5, 4, 3, he goes 6, 5, 3, 4, and then the chord on top. So the first 2 times we had just straight up the guitar strings. Now we have this. So B, P, I, P, A, M. Okay. Now we have this. So same shape as before, except this time, catch the first string on the 5th fret with the tip of your bar finger. And only worry about barring 5th string and 1st string. Don't worry about these other 3. And A finger is going to be ready to go on 1st string. And we're going to do thumb, thumb and A together. P, A, and then M, I. And we're going to have this figure a lot coming up. Oops. Move it down 2 frets. Same thing. Now we're going to do this. And I'm not exactly sure. Actually sure what note Metallica plays, if they play the 5th string here or if they play the 4th string. I'm not really sure, but either way it will sound fine. Here I think the way I play it is on the 5th string, so I'll demonstrate that. You're going to do a bar across the 3rd fret. So you get the low G here on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. Fret 5th string, 5th fret, it's a D. And then with the 2nd finger, fret 3rd string, 4th fret, that's a B. And then catch strings 2 and 1 with the tip of your bar finger here on the 3rd fret. So we have the same pattern here. It's just the thumb is getting a little bit separated from the fingers. The thumb is going to go 6, 5, and the fingers are going to go A, M, I. The same pattern of strings as they've been having. When I said I wasn't exactly sure what Metallica does, I don't know if they do this or if they do this. You could listen to the recording and figure it out. It's not that much different. I'm just not exactly sure which one they play. I'm going to play this one for now. And now we have the same right hand pattern that we're going back to, except fret this chord. So do this. Let's see. Put your 3rd finger on 4th string, 4th fret. It's an F sharp. Put your 4th finger on 2nd fret, 2nd string, 4th fret. That's a D sharp. And then you're gonna do a 5-string bar with your 1st finger on the 2nd fret, and you want to catch strings 5, 3, and 1. So I don't have the ability in my finger, although some people do, to where I can bar every other string. So I'm not going to think about it that way, but I am just going to think as long as those 3 have pressure, then I'm good. I'm still not exactly thinking like all strings are pressed down. So catch strings 5, 3, and 1. The right hand is going to play the same pattern as before. Thumb goes 5, 4, and A, M, I happens on strings 1, 2, and 3. Thumb and A, M, I, okay? And then the way I play it on the medley is from this chord you have this A. So I'm gonna put my second finger there, play the third string and the sixth string together, pull off into the open third string, play the fourth string second fret, E, then play the third string again, and then get back into your pattern. Strings 1, 2, 3, thumb, 1. So again. Okay. And then we start the verse. So before the downbeat of the verse, we have this. It's gonna happen a lot. So it's open sixth string, then the third fret, G, with second finger, pull off to the second fret, F sharp with first finger, and then that last E is on the downbeat. Da da da, 1. And you probably don't really want to emphasize it like I just did, but I just wanted to point it out. Oops. Okay, and then here comes the first part. This part's a little bit tricky for me to get a handle on. It was at first, but it's such a pretty part. Also, I should tell you, in full disclosure, I'm not exactly sure this is exactly the way that Metallica plays it. This is the way I learned it when I was younger, and I've just always played it this way. It sounds close enough to me, but if you know it and you're like, well, I think they do something different, you're probably right. But I'll show you how I play it, because that's the way it was on the melody. The medley, rather. Okay. So after this figure, play open third string, open second string, then play first string, third fret, G with fourth finger. Then play open third string, then play strings 1, 2, and 3. And I've got my A, M, and I on these strings, so whatever string you need, just use that finger, okay? Like from before. That's the rhythm. Okay, now moving on. We play fourth string open, D. Play F sharp on the first string. It's on the second fret with second finger. Then play open third string. Then put fingers 4 and 3 on the third frets of strings 1 and 2. And your I finger's still on the third string, and you're going to say A, M, I. Strings 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so after that, fret this C, 5th string, 3rd fret with 2nd finger. And then you're gonna keep 3rd finger where it was from this and relax 4th finger. Okay, so 3rd finger is gonna stay on the second string, 3rd fret, and you're gonna have strings 1 and 3 open. You're gonna pluck strings 5 and 1 together, and then play M, I on strings 2 and 3. Last bit of that is a lead in to the It's the same as this, except you don't have the first E. You just have, okay. So backing up. Okay, that's how the first part of that goes. A good tempo for you to learn it. So after that, this is the same. Okay, so this starts out the same. That's all the same. And then it goes. So we have D on the second string, 3rd fret with 3rd finger. And then we're gonna do an A on the 3rd string, 2nd fret with 1. And then we're gonna pull off to the open G string. And that's M, I, slur. Then we're gonna pluck this 3-note chord. Second finger is back down on this C on the 3rd fret, 5th string, like before. We're gonna pluck 3rd string open, and this D, 2nd string, 3rd fret. And then right after we pluck this chord, we're gonna play strings 3 and 2 again. So we kind of get this effect, da, 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 but we have the chord to begin with. Okay, and then we end with the same. Fret 3, fret 2, 1. So backing up we have okay, again that second part was okay, now we have the third little part. This much is the exact same as the first time where you go to this, okay? Now you're gonna do this though. Second finger still goes to the C down here, but 4th finger stays where it is. Before we relaxed it, okay? Now it stays on this high G on the 1st string, 3rd fret. And we play strings 1, together with the 5th string bass note, okay? And then we play string 2 and then string 3. Like that. And then we do this in the bass. We go from the 6th string, 3rd fret, slur down to the 2nd fret, but this time come back to the 3rd fret. And keep these fingers where they are, okay? 3rd string open, and then strings 3rd string open, and then strings 2 and 1 together. After this, exactly how I played it. You're gonna fret this chord. It's 5th string, 2nd fret. It's a B with 2nd finger. You can go ahead and put down 4th string, 1st fret, D sharp. Then 3rd string, 2nd fret, A with 3rd finger. Open 2nd string, B, and then 1st string, 2nd fret, F sharp with 4th finger. It's a common B7 chord. And you can strum this whole chord if you want. way that I played it. This note may not be in Metallica's original version, but it fits in the chord. So when I get to that chord, I just strum the whole thing with the right hand. I have A, M, and I set up on the top 3 strings, and I do P, P, I, M, A. Oops. Or you can just play the first 2 strings. Together with the bass note. Oops. And I think I do the whole chord. After you strum the whole chord, play strings 2, 1, 2, 3, and then low 6 to get you back into this. Okay, so let me back up and play the whole thing kind of slowly. Play this almost twice and then start again. So that time I didn't strum the whole chord. I just did thumb on 6, I on 3, M on 2, and A on 1. You do that too. Whatever you like. You don't really need that D sharp. You don't have to have that D sharp in there. Makes it a little bit juicier if you do. I don't think Metallica plays it though. I think they just play no 4th string there. Okay. And then in the medley, I play that I think 3 times. It's the way that they play it in the song. After the 3rd time, you play this once before you go into the chorus. So for the chorus, we're going to play the chords that Metallica plays and then try to sneak in the vocal melody. Okay, and we're going to do just a little bit of strumming. I don't do any strumming in this whole medley until this last part. It just felt right though, so I kept it in. So the first thing we're going to do is pluck this C major chord. Common chord shape, 5th string, 3rd fret with 3, 4th string, 2nd fret with 2, open 3rd string, and 2nd string, 1st fret with 1. And we're going to pluck that 4-note chord, P, I, M, and A, okay? Oops, that's it. After this, we're going to go to an A major chord. So open 5th string, 4th string, 2nd fret with 2, 3rd string, 2nd fret with 3, and 2nd string, 2nd fret with 4. Again, P, I, M, A. To D, it's kind of a D major, mostly D major. Our vocal melody will make it D major though, for real. But it starts on the 4th string open and then has 3rd string, 2nd fret with 1, and then 2nd string, 3rd fret with 3. I'm just going to pluck that P-I-M, that one. P-I-M. So we have this. Oops, sorry, this. To D. There it is. And this A major might work better if you use 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, I just realized that before I said this. If you use 1, 2, and 3 though, you can just use 3rd finger as your guide to this D major chord. That might work nice. For this part, we're going to keep these fingers where they are, and we're going to add 2nd finger on the 1st string, 2nd fret, that's an F sharp. And then pretty quick, we're going to keep these fingers here, and we're going to put 4th finger on the 3rd fret, 1st string, that's a G. If you play any kind of acoustic guitar, you've probably done this. It's a very commonly used thing, okay? So that's what we're going to do here. This is the rhythm, and all the other 3 strings are the same. And the top string goes F sharp, G, F sharp, E, F sharp. And I strum this with my I finger. I go down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay. And when I strum it, I like to put my thumb on string 5. To me, that's really important. It does a couple of things. One, it anchors my hand so that I can strum with the exact intensity that I want. And 2 is, it keeps me from strumming any strings below the lowest one that I want to strum. If my thumb is on 5, I'll never ever strum 5 or 6 by accident. It just can't happen. So we pluck and pluck and then pluck. Now I rest thumb on 5 and I strum all these with thumb on 5. And then the strums, I would think of them as gentle enough. I still want this to sound really melodic. Okay, I'm not looking for a bash-in type of thing. It just seemed like a good way. You know, that didn't really do it for me. It seemed like a good way to catch all the chord tones and still play it the way that people would recognize it. So how I achieve that is with a typical strumming thing, I might be more perpendicular to the string for a more aggressive sound. For this, I really turn my hand this way, and it's just diagonal in this direction. Okay, you get a warmer sound, you get as much volume as you want, or not as much if you don't want that. Okay, and then I always make sure I feel that first string and the melody on it with every strum. Okay, you don't want to miss any of those, because that's what you gotta hear if you're doing this, okay? So I always make sure that when I strum, when I go out, I can feel it at the end, and when I come back, I also can feel my finger hit it. Okay, so hopefully that's some strumming tips for you. But basically, you can do a ton of things with strumming, just like anything else. But in this instance, I really wanted it to fit into what was around it. I didn't want it to really stand out. It just seemed like a good way to play this. So after you get through this once, the first time, do the strumming. Then after that last upstroke, I do this 3-note chord. So 3rd finger's on 5th string, 3rd fret, it's a C with thumb. Play open 3rd string, G, and then play 2nd finger is on this F sharp on the 1st string, 2nd fret. Play this, and then very soon after that, you're gonna slur with 2nd finger off to the 1st string. I think I arpeggiate that too. You can do that. You can also play this C down here with 4th finger. That might work good. I think that probably works better. After that, you go back to your A major chord, same as before. This is the same. And then your strumming pattern has an extra upstroke. So first time it's never cared for one day. Second time it's I never cared for one day. Okay, so the first time start in the downstroke. Second time, start one little upbeat before, and the rest is the same, okay? Makes sense? And then this, so fret the C on the 5th string, 3rd fret with 3 for sure this time. Still the same chord, open G, 3rd string. F sharp here. Now we're gonna do a hammer-on or an ascending slur on the 1st string from 2nd fret to 3rd fret G with the 4th finger. And then we're gonna very quickly go to the open E string. After that, I would play a full A chord. Okay, this is what we've been doing before. I would play a full one. On the medley, you won't hear me do that because I messed it up. I wanted to do... Okay, but I messed it up. I don't remember what happened, I just remember I totally missed that E. But that was the best take I could get, so unfortunately I just had to eat that and accept it. But because he's holding that note out, and you can't hold it out on the guitar, I just wanted to pluck it one more time. So fret this A chord like you have been doing, except this time I would strum it P, P, I, M, A, if you want to do that. Then you're going to play a D major chord like before, so get set. And all you got to do is play the F sharp on the 1st string one time early with A finger, and then pluck P, I, M, A. Pluck that F sharp 2 more times, and then you're going to play an E minor chord, 6, 3, 2, but before you play the open 1st string, you're going to play an F sharp, and then do a slur. And I arpeggiate a lot of these chords. I wanted it to sound kind of dramatic. whenever you have a movement like this, like you have a chord, but you have one note that doesn't belong, and then it resolves, I mean, go with it. So you can do the pull off. That's what I meant to say. And resolve, okay. So let me back up. Right after that, you go right back into your intro stuff. 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, then just like the beginning, you're gonna do this. That's all the same, except now you're gonna do 6th string instead of 5th. And do open E on the 1st string, and then go right back into your intro stuff. And then that repeats 2 more times. Okay, last time I'm going to slow down very dramatically. Leave us hanging, and then end with a nice E minor chord. So it's just open, 2nd fret, open, open, open. I remember recording this and thinking, wanting to slow down here a lot, and thinking, just don't mess it up, please don't. Just please don't mess it up. So slow down a lot at the end if you want. And then you could draw that last chord out if you want. Be sure we hear this 1st string at the end. I'm not doing a very good job of that, that's why I mentioned it. At the very end, because that's really our final resolved note. If you don't want to draw it out that long, you don't have to. Do something like that, okay? Or you could only pluck the outer strings, or you could only pluck strings 6, 3, 2, and 1. Or you could do that but arpeggiate them. I ended up choosing something like that, right? Where you end with this note, but you like work your way up to it with the chord. I think it's a neat effect to do. But work with that, try out ideas, and do something that you like and that you think is creative. Okay, oh my god, that was a long tutorial. I sure hope it helped you. I did my very best to explain everything as much as I could. So best of luck. Feel free to ask me any questions. Work hard on the piece and so you can play it just the way that you want. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. Thanks for your support. Hope to see you around in another video, and take care.